So Bitcoin is pushing up a little bit, altcoins are staying a little flat for now, and I would like to take a look at the market, where things are headed, what my expectation is, and I will go over some comments that you guys left on the channel. So if you have any questions, suggestions, you want to yell at me, whatever, leave it down below and I will review it in one of the next videos. So let's take a look right here now. What do I have on my screen right here, which is quite interesting? This is the Bitcoin dominance, and the orange line is our big orange daddy Bitcoin. And what I notice, and what you probably notice as well, is that the Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin are very much correlated, right? That's never, not always been the case though, right? Here you see that the Bitcoin dominance went up as well. Let me zoom in a little bit over there, right? Here you see the Bitcoin dominance really went up, but even when Bitcoin went down right here, the Bitcoin dominance kept on going up for a while, right? So it doesn't have to be correlated all the single time, and these small differences make a big difference when it comes to altcoins on their dollar pair, where it can decide if we are in an alt season or when altcoins are getting completely wrecked. Now, the completely wrecked season hasn't happened yet. In my opinion, it could still happen, and a lot of people don't agree with that, or they don't want that, and I totally understand that, but I would like to give you my view and just put it into consideration that it's an opportunity and a possibility to happen, right? And I say an opportunity as well, because if you are prepared, then it's only a good thing, right? I'm gonna get rich with altcoins, I know that, and therefore I don't buy altcoins yet. It's very simple, right? Because we first, to make money, you do not have must lose money, and the last, well, basically 1.5 years was very easy for people to lose money with crypto. Now, my general take on this is the following. We have two scenarios, right? Bitcoin goes up or Bitcoin goes down. And of course it can go a little sideways, but overall it's up or down. Now, what happens if Bitcoin goes down? We know that altcoins follow Bitcoin on their dollar pair, right? So if Bitcoin goes down, you usually see altcoins go down as well. That's just what happens. However, if Bitcoin goes up, what happens? The dominance goes up as well. And that's what I said. It's very correlated, right? So here, the orange line Bitcoin went up, and the dominance went up with it. Now, the thing is that although altcoins might go up a little bit on their dollar pair, on their Bitcoin pair, they are going down very hard. You can see this from basically beginning this year, where Bitcoin had a run and where Bitcoin doubled. The dominance went up with like 10%, right? Well, it's basically more than 10%, but if you look at it, you know, if you look at it like this, it's 25%, but it went from 39 to 49 basically. But what happened in the meantime is that altcoins on their Bitcoin pair looked like this, right? They went from, 1.06 to 0.6. They went down 42%. Now, people still might feel like, yeah, well, you know, I look at my altcoin on the dollar pair. I don't give a fuck about Bitcoin. I just want to make money. The thing is, one, that if you were in altcoins right here, let me remove this. Believe it or not, you bought the top. Right? If you bought altcoins anywhere in 2022, basically, and most part of 2021, right? And now it's going down, right? And where I am interested to buy altcoins is where it's flat, all right? And again, not saying try to time the bottom, right? You don't want to buy this freaking small dip over here and go all in right there, but buy this complete zone, right? And now it's halfway. I feel like, yeah, it's halfway, basically. Yeah, I know. Who says it's going to get here, right? Well, you know, I am looking at the charts, and that's what's happening so far, and the Bitcoin dominance puts that out as well. And maybe this time is different, right? But you know, for the time that I've been in crypto, I always thought, well, this time it's going to be different, so I'm gonna do that, and it turned out not to really be that different, and I got wrecked with it, right? So now I just feel like, okay, patiently waiting, and a lot of people don't like that, because waiting, what? If I want to wait, I can buy stocks because that's boring. Crypto is moving, and I want to be in crypto. Yeah, but crypto can also move down, and then you don't want to be in it, right? That's not strategic strategic dollar costing, that's just buying every dip in the, because you think you're gonna miss out. But there's not that much to miss out on if it runs anyway. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. The total 3, the altcoin market, looks like this. Look, you can still look at it however you want, but the thing is that if I look at the altcoin market, even, you know, some people might say, well, we had the hard crash and we now made a bottom and a double bottom or whatsoever. Yeah, I can help but look at it and feel like, man, it's just making lower highs right here, right? And even, right, you have to consider also that even with the, you know, the great long-awaited XRP news, well, Ripple news, we didn't even manage to get on top of this line, which would have still been a lower high though. But it did absolutely nothing but a short-term bounce and back, right? You know, XRP is staying up there quite well for now, but the rest of the altcoin market has retraced again, right? And, you know, it's still lower than where we were like in April, or in October or August or wherever, right? And yes, you can of course compare the latest high with the latest low and be like, whoa, we are up. Well, that's not the trend, right? We're making lower high, lower high, lower high, lower. So it can still go, or it is still moving down, right? One bullish thing is that we at least confirmed a higher low right here. So that's at least something, right? But still, we have one low, we have a second low. We'll see what it means, right? Because we now just confirmed our 3rd lower high out of this pattern right here. Right? Not to mention the fact that we are still struggling with the bull market support bands, which is one of the most important indicators right here, this red and green line. And we are now, like, with the XRP news, we broke above it, big ass fake out, came back in it, got rejected to the downside, and now we're just flirting with that level basically. And if the price stays where it is, then this is where the bull market support band is going to head in the next couple of weeks. So either the altcoin market gets slowly slapped back down again, or we really break above it and have some confirmations. But even then, right, we broke above the bull market support band in January and fell back in it in May. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean anything, because then this was our big, you know, resistance level. So, you know, still, it is kind of, wow, I don't know. It still, it has a lot of resistance everywhere, and I don't see a lot of support on the altcoin market as for now. So therefore, I'm just being careful. There is more downside than upside at this point of the market, right? And what I said before as well is that, you know, this is what altcoins did on their Bitcoin pair, right? But what did Bitcoin do in the meantime while this happened? Bitcoin doubled, right? Bitcoin went from 15K to 30K, right? So can you imagine how altcoins will look on their dollar pair if Bitcoin finally goes down a little bit? Here, Bitcoin was down, but altcoins were holding up decently because they were holding up against their Bitcoin pair. But so far, what happens in every cycle is exactly this, and then Bitcoin goes down as well, while altcoins don't hold up against their Bitcoin pair. And that's why you really see altcoins on their dollar pair going down hard. That's the part that we haven't seen yet. And in my opinion, it's very likely to still see that, because the cycle, it's creepy how good it plays out for now. So yeah, you know, I'm not making friends on this channel, but that's just the stage of the market that we are in right now. Having patience is a bitch, and people want to buy. They want the adrenaline rush. They don't want to miss out on their altcoins, and they see a 20% pump and they be like, oh yeah, bull market, alt season. It's like, forget about these short-term things, look at the bigger picture, and then you really get the best entry. Because if you want to make 100x on one certain altcoin, you know, you can first do a 10x and then another 10x. But if you want to make 100x on a certain altcoin, you're not going to do that by buying where it is right now, right? If you now buy a, I don't know, Cardano, for example, at 30 cents, that's great, but it's not going to $30 probably, right, in the next bull run. But it can go back to $3. Then when do you make 100x? If you buy it at 3 cents, right? And I'm not saying it goes that low, but the lower it gets, the higher your chance is And it doesn't have to make more returns for that, right? It doesn't have to go surpass its all-time high. Your entry point is just as important as your exit point. And most people only focus on the exit points in crypto. And that's kind of the problem. They'd be like, I'll buy altcoins right now. And if it goes there, then I'll make a lot of money, right? Okay, but you forget your entry point. Is this really the best entry point? Why, right? Like, it's going down, 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 down. What makes you think that this was it? What suggests that? I don't see it, really. But that's my take, right? I mean, overall, over the long term, if you dollar cost right now in altcoins that will survive, that's always the question, of course, then I am pretty confident that in the top of the next bull market, these altcoins will be sitting way higher than where they are right now, right? Definitely. So I'm not saying that that's not possible. But the problem is that when you do not know in this stage of the market yet if your altcoin is going to survive, you can name any altcoin you want, and you do not know if it will survive. Every altcoin can still die, right? I don't think Ethereum and Bitcoin are going to die. That's for sure. The rest has a very high chance still. And that's what I mean. Go to CoinMarketCap history and look up, July 2019. Right? The 4-year cycle, 4 years ago of where we were right now. You see the top 100 filled with altcoins that are not known or not relevant right now, right? So even back then, when the hard part seemed to be over, right? Every altcoin died right here. And that's why we haven't been yet. This is not the hard part. This way down is not the hard part. It's the uncertainty and the real struggle and the patience right there. And a lot of project developers can't handle that as well. And therefore the projects die. Let's get into some comments. Off subject, but Coinbase adds a spread to advanced trades that they are allowed to retrain this amount. What is the point of interacting directly with the order book? And someone suggests a better platform that hopefully does not do this. I haven't seen that, bro, so I cannot tell you about that. But I'm personally not using Coinbase. I'm using Bybit. I used Binance, but that's now forbidden in the Netherlands. I'm mainly not even on centralized exchanges. A little bit on Kucoin. But most is off-chain anyway. Benjamin calling copycat. Yeah, I show some of the same charts as he does, and I'm sharing the same opinion. Doesn't mean I'm a copycat. Like, not everybody that's bullish on crypto is a crypto banta copycat as well, right? Hey, Fomo, let me check what you have to say. I'm a big believer of the 4-year cycle, and I'd like to keep track of where we are in the cycle. Something I noticed on the total 3 divided by Bitcoin chart is that we are 36 weeks away from the halving. The previous cycle, 36 weeks away, we were already at the bottom range for alts. Also, the RSI hit 8 last week on the weekly chart. That was the lowest since September 2019. Both of those times were excellent times to buy altcoins. Also, the monthly chart, stochastic RSI, is starting to cross up for alts. I'm starting to believe we will not reach the lower range. I'm curious on your thoughts on this. So when it comes to the stochastic RSI on this chart, what you mean? The monthly? Let me see. Is this what you mean? But in that case, I don't know, man. I'm always very cautious with that because we have, look, we are now a couple of months at the sold territory. But here we were a couple of months in the oversold territory as well. And we also started to climb up. And what happened eventually, we went all the way down again. So that's one thing. It doesn't necessarily have to mean anything. It shows the overall momentum, but it has such a wide range that that's really hard to trade on. 36 weeks away from the halving. Let me check. I have that right here. So we have the halving, give or take March 2024, and we had it in May 2020, right? So, it's an estimate depending on the blocks, of course. So we will have the halving, well, give or take here somewhere, right? Let me remove this line to make it more easy. And we had it in May 2020, which was here. All right. So we are now see 9 bars, right? 9 months. So if we go 9 months back on this one, which was here, so there's a little room, right? It differs with like 2-3 months, right? So it's not that weird. To me, it's not that big of a difference. And of course, it doesn't have to play out exactly like it did last time, right? I mean, we have the 4-year cycles, and that's an overall take, but it doesn't mean everything is, you know, tracked by the month precisely. Otherwise, it would have been too easy, and everybody would have traded that, and then the outcome will also be different. But yeah, it kind of says like we are somewhere here. So yeah, it seems correct though, that this move can still happen, right? And when we had the halving, yeah, it was here, right? So even in the halving, that was kind of the period to buy altcoins. Slightly before the halving, slightly at the halving. Look, this is the whole dollar cost area, basically, the whole range. And that range lasted for like more than a year, basically. So yeah, but if we get there, look, I mean, we do not have to get all to the bottom here. But we, in my opinion, will at least get here. I don't think that this is it. For sure. For sure, I don't. It could definitely, but for now the range is what I see. We get to the lows, we get to the highs, we get to the lows, we get to the highs. I can bet my money on like this time we get just to the mid range, right? But it doesn't show it to me, to be honest. And also, whenever we are on the monthly stochastic RSI at the low range, it's people think like it's the best time to buy, but it's actually literally not, because when we are at the low range, that's where you have the big drop down, right? Same for Bitcoin, for example. If you look at this, when we are at the high, like here, you would have said like, oh, it's already overbought, so let's sell. In that case, you sold Bitcoin at 13K and it went all the way to 70. Right? It's mostly when we are at the oversold, overbought range, that's where it really moons. And when we are at the oversold, like here, it really goes down hard. So I would really love to see it confirmed to, you know, leave that that range really. But it's an interesting thought and take on it. And look, I mean, if you're not sure and if you feel uncomfortable with it, you can always dollar cost into stuff, right? You can always dollar cost into stuff, definitely. I mean, I'm just saying what I'm doing, right? What's your view on Seal and 0x0? I don't know both of those though, so really hard for me to tell, but I can collect some of these calls and make a video about them, like more people give those calls, but I really have to look into it first. It feels so botted. I'm not gonna, you know. George, do you... George? My name is not George, dude. Do you pay taxes only when you take profits or when you move the Bitcoin off of the exchange? I think it depends per country. It's really hard to say, though. I can't answer that. Maybe every country has its own rules when it comes to that. So I can tell how it's going in my country, but, you know, maybe I'll get you wrecked by saying that. You won't yell at me, lovely. Bro, you are showing the wrong hex chart. Starting the starting hex price December 2019 was 0.0, went to this and that. The price of today is this. It's nothing close to the starting price. So get your facts right, I think, if you're trying to make a point. All right, bro, let me get my facts right. Look, if I look at the hex chart, right? Hex first wasn't tracked on, for example, Poloniex back then, right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter, because what's the point of comparing hex, where it is right now, compared to where it started, right? We can also compare Bitcoin to where it started, and then we can say, hey, bull market, Bitcoin is doing so well. It still did a 30,000x. Like, it's this cycle right now, right? What's done in the last cycle is done in the last cycle. Yes, Hex started off very cheap, had a very good run, and therefore it also came down one of the hardest. Right? But it's not that interesting anyway, because people that were in Hex from the beginning, that were lucky enough or smart enough or whatever, right? And were in the beginning, you know, if they now still hold it, like, if everything is well, they already took profits a long time ago, right? So yeah, I can definitely maybe CoinGecko tracks it. I don't know where Hex was listed back then, because no, I was never interested in Hex, to be honest, right? Here it shows, indeed, from 2019. It started off very low, 0.0001. And yes, now it's sitting at 0.008. So it's still up a lot by where it came from. But what does this have to do? That's 4 years ago, right? What does that have to do with where we are right now? This is the cycle, right? This is the cycle where we're in right now. So yeah, I don't see what you know the conclusion should be, to be honest. Like, yeah, no, I don't know exactly. Where the fuck? Oh yeah. Today I agree with you. CWeb. I think these are bots. People asking too much about CWeb. Will it dump? Waiting for correction last month. Altcoins. Look, I mean, waiting for correction since last month. Look, if you look at altcoins on a monthly chart, you know, it has been dumping all the time, right? Red, 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 red. And in the middle of it, we have green, 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 green. But overall, the trend is down. So it is dumping, right? Krypton, these are bots. Let me get rid of those. Goddamn, this is a long story, man. This is Dutch. Let me translate. Yeah, it's basically laying out his strategy, which is kind of the same as mine. So pretty cool. Let me see. Can you make a video on how to start with launch pads from the beginning? Yeah, definitely. Sure. Yeah. Hoping for another 30% dip. Yeah, that could definitely come. Like the Gala, Bitcoin Gala chart, basically. Yeah, it puts some things in perspective, right? So I have a couple of charts here as comparison, but if you want to look for that, so for example, if you look at my medium risk and you look, for example, at AVAX, right? If you look at AVAX and you want to get a good entry on AVAX, you look at the dollar chart probably first and you feel like, oh, sideways. Then you look at the Bitcoin chart and you feel like, oh, wait, it's not sideways. It's making lower lows all the time. AVAX is still crashing. Just made a lower low like last month still, right? So it's definitely not a double bottom. But still, you might feel like, well, yeah, you know, AVAX only came down 82%. You know, how much is that compared to Bitcoin? But then you can do this. 1 divided by AVAX BTC, and then you press enter. Then you get this chart. And then you get another perspective, because that's basically the same chart but the other way around, right? So if you have sold your AVAX for Bitcoin right here, how much would you have made? You would have made a 5x, right? So, and that's not even one of the hardest falling assets, but it is very funny to see that, you know, if you sold a risky altcoin for a steady, you know, a relative safe Bitcoin, you would have made a 5x. Right, so, and that shows me like, why be in altcoins right now? Bitcoin is higher reward and lower risk at this stage of the market, right? Believe me, it's not that I'm a Bitcoin maxi or whatever, because in a bull market, damn dude, you know, altcoins way higher reward for sure. But in this stage of the market, they are not, right? And yeah, there are, of course, exceptions. I don't know, Render, for example. Oh, Render is doing good, right? Although Render is, of course, also down from the highs with 80%, but from the lows, it's up a lot. But overall, you know, these exceptions are exceptions, right? Render Bitcoin as well. It's holding up very well. So you might feel like, yeah, I want to pick the exceptions. Well, then just again look at the complete altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, and you'll just see that it came down. These exceptions are included, right? And it still came down. So the chance that you pick these exceptions, that's the problem. This chance is pretty low. You have to be lucky, basically, because you can say like, yeah, well, this is a good altcoin. Yeah, there are a lot of good altcoins still coming down. Altura, yeah, I love Altura, and you know, that's one of the altcoins that I feel like, look, I'm not happy with the fact that, look, Altura, look at this. It's also such a coin doing very well. It's too bad because I love Altura and I want to get a bigger bag of Altura, and I bought some at quite low levels, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I think this could go way higher. Therefore, I want to get more. But I cannot look at such a chart and be like, wow, Altura is now up 5x from the bottom, and now buy this, right? Why buy something that just did a 5x? We are in a bear market. We have all these opportunities of getting coins at cheap levels, and you buy something that did a 5x? It feels wrong for me. Although I think it can do another 5x or 10x or whatever. It feels wrong. So yeah, I don't know, man. But I rather miss out on something than I lose money. That's kind of what you've been going for as well, right? It depends. If you feel like, yeah, I'd rather lose money than miss out, then you can buy it. But I feel like, man, yeah, Altura is a good project, but I have like a watch list with 50 good projects. If I miss out on one of those or two, I don't care. MV token. Have to look into that though. Crypto is garbage. Then you should not look at crypto related channels. I don't know, man. I'm also not going to like a fried chicken restaurant to say that I don't like chicken. Like, what the fuck are you doing there in the first place? Go away. Look at Zigzag. Okay, whatever. Let me take a look at one of those things. Zigzag. It's an exchange. Oh, wait. It's an currency. Well, it's an exchange probably with the native currency. But is it a exchange on the Arbitrum? Wait, no. Did you find XMAXI? Yeah, is it an exchange on the Arbitrum chain? Trade on CK Sync Lite. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, for one of the first times, I must say that this is finally an exchange token or a DEX token with non-shitty fucked up tokenomics, right? Like all these exchange tokens have like big ass vestings to go. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's quite new, right? And with new stuff, you always have to watch out, of course, because you see right here, it was $4 and now it's 10 cents. What the fuck happened here, right? In a matter of like half a year, it came down like crazy. Okay, it's not that good. And if I look at the market cap, then yeah, it went from 50 million to just 6 million. So came down not even 10x, but the price came down like 40x. So there was a hard token vesting. Yeah, you really want to wait for the token vesting to be over before you buy something like this. Because if I look at the, goddamn, this never works. Yeah, it's still making lower lows. Okay, might not be the best time to buy it. I'll look into it. I'm gonna put it in my whatever high risk portfolio. I'll take some good look at it. Okay, interesting. Let me check. Yeah, this is a beautiful discussion. Of course, someone says here comes the altcoin bear. So I said, yeah, as soon as the altcoins look bullish, I will be bullish too. And so I said, by the time you tell your followers to buy, the price might have already taken off. This is crypto. All coins are down 98%, and most of them are in accumulation phase. If it drops more, just DCA more. There are so many, well, I don't want to say wrong with that comment, but there are so many traps in that way of thinking. One, by the time you say it's time to buy, it might have already taken off. The problem is, look at, well, let's go back to AVAX, for example. Look, still going down, right? So according to your thesis, you should just buy the dip. So you bought wherever you bought, here. So, okay, I can still buy here. Who has the better entry? That's one. Not buying can give you a better entry. It's very simple. But also, right, you don't want to time the bottom. You don't want to time the bottom, but you just want to wait for the, you know, the downtrend to be over, because it is still in a downtrend, right? It's making lower lows, lower highs. So on the chart, everything says it's going down. Nothing says that it's going up. Nothing, absolutely nothing, right? So you don't know how far this will go. One, you do not know if this coin is going to survive in the first place, right? Because if coins are still going down like that, a lot of them will die. So you really want to wait for it to actually stabilize, to see like, okay, is it still around in the first place, right? And two, if it's still going down, apart from what I said, that you've, you know, dollar costing, super smart, now you're throwing your money away because you have too much FOMO, right? And I know I've been I call myself the Fomo Factory on this channel, but you can have FOMO the right way. I have FOMO for AVX. I don't want to miss out, right? But what you do with it is most important, right? So let's say it does something like this, right? By the time that I say you want to buy, or that I'm gonna buy, right? That might be here, right? Because I have seen the confirmation on the bottom, right? That it really bottoms in this range, right? That it stabilizes. And once it goes up, it has a confirmation, and maybe I will buy there. I will have the same entry as your lowest dollar costing area, right? Apart from here, here, and wherever. I have the same entry, but then at least with the confirmation that it's not going down anymore, but it's finally getting bullish. So one, I have the lowest entry, and two, I take less risk. That's the thing. And you know, all coins are down that much. Again, that should not be a reason to think that you can buy it. Like again, if you look at Cardano, for example, last cycle, right? And I take that as an example because that really survived a bear market, right? It went down 80%. People really felt like, well, it went down 80%. You should definitely buy. From there, it went down another 80%. People were actually buying, but from there it went down another 84%, right? It can be endless. It can be endless. There is no stop to that. It can go down another 80%, right? And from there it can go down another 80%. You don't know. You don't know. So thinking like, well, it went down so far right now. It's a destructive way of thinking. Like if you look at Moonbeam, for example, a coin that falls very hard, right? People got wrecked with it. Like you said, like, oh, it went down, 98%. Let's buy right now. Yeah, what happened from there? It went down another 50%, 60, whatever, right? And it's still making low. So from here, it can go down another 80%. So yeah, that's not really working. And yeah, most of them are in accumulation phase. Like, I don't know what you think an accumulation phase is, but this is how a cycle looks like, right? Like this. This is an accumulation phase. Most are still in this phase, right? It's down. It's not. I don't see the sideways movements on a lot of charts. And some people look at the dollar chart and they feel like it's accumulation, but don't get it wrong. Look at the Bitcoin chart. It's not an accumulation. It isn't. Right? So if you feel like, yeah, but fuck Bitcoin, then you are basically saying, okay, but Bitcoin does not go down from 30K. Because now if Bitcoin goes down from 30K, then all these altcoins will get taken off of their dollar support, right? Because they already got taken off of their Bitcoin support. So now the only reason that altcoins are holding up right here is just because Bitcoin is still sitting at 30K. If you are a big believer that Bitcoin cannot go down and that this cycle is up only, yeah, then you can buy alts. Then you can buy alts, definitely. Let me see. You talk every day as alts are dropping 50%. Man, do a new video that people will learn new things. But if you don't have any, just shut up. Keep repeating same altcoin shit every day. Look, I review the market. That's what I do in this channel. I look at the market and I discuss what's going on in the market. yeah, if the same stuff is happening in the market, then yeah, I can talk about new stuff, but I just discussed this, right? I just discussed, well, Bitcoin is sitting here, altcoins are sitting there, whatever. I just discuss my, strategy. Yeah, that's what I do, and I can write, like I've doing this for months, and basically it's not repeating myself, because a couple of months ago, for example, I say don't buy Focal Forge, right? This is the Bitcoin pair on Bitcoin on its Focal Forge pair, for example. I said don't buy it, right? Or at least I'm not buying it. Now a couple of months later, Focal Forge went down way harder, so I'm now saying again, like, yeah, you see, I still don't buy it, right? Because in a couple of months it could be sitting here. If I don't repeat that, people might maybe forget that and buy it anyway, or think that I don't care anymore, or that it's time to buy, or whatever, while altcoins still are getting wrecked, right? And I'm not saying it falls 50% every day, but the thing is that it compounds, right? That's the problem. It compounds. Again, if you look at altcoins on their Bitcoin pair, if you look at the weekly chart, look, here was a week where it fell just 3%, right? Here is a week where it fell just 4%, right? And we have these bigger candles as well, but a lot of, small red candles. But these small red candles add up, and overall, it did fall 50%. I know it's hard to have that patience, and I get it. A lot of people, they may already have an altcoin back, or they don't feel like waiting, and you don't have to do what I do, right? You don't really have to. I'm just saying what I do, and I'm saying what, if I had $100,000 right here, right, and I've put it into altcoins, my $100,000 will now be worth $60,000, right? By the fact that I've said this for months, I still have my $100,000, for example, right here. And I can put way more in at low prices, and if it goes up, I can make way more money. That's just how it is. If you put everything up in right here, then yeah, I think you get the message. And I expect not everybody to agree with me, and you shouldn't, right? Everybody has its own strategy. This is mine, and so far it's been working out really well for me. And yeah, if you get a green candle in the meantime on altcoins like this, people be like, you were wrong. Well, I don't know, right? These green candles, you can get them all the time before you go down even further, just like here, right? And yeah, and even again, if it does break out and go up again, I can still buy there and have a way better entry than if I would have bought anywhere here, right? And that's what a lot of people unfortunately have been doing. So yeah, I want to wrap it up right here. Tomorrow, however, I will drop a video that if you did buy altcoins, how to get the most out of that, because I think it's very important to know that if you do have a bag of altcoins, yeah, what are you gonna do then, and how are you gonna make money? So see you then.